What the fuck?
Free socks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Triple B Experience. I'm your host, Bad Bubba Brewer, 5 minutes late, but it's better being 5 minutes late than an hour early, I guess. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk a lot of pop culture tonight. But before I do that, I can't do not anything by myself. I just made that word up. I don't even know if it's a word. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, to get the show started, I got to bring him on. He is the voice of West Virginia college football on his podcast every Mondays and Thursday nights. He's also my co-host for Steelers Dynasty podcast, Monday nights at 10, Wednesdays at 9, next week every day for 10 hours straight because we got draft stuff and we're not going to get any sleep. I know I won't. It's going to be just chaotic. But ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the show as always, his special field correspondent, Mr. Shane Stodmiller. Hi, Shane.
Hello.
How's it going?
I didn't get a sweatshirt on, which is why we're late. I had to go upstairs and get a sweatshirt because
no, we're not late because of you. We're late because of me because I thought I had the show already set up. I was telling our other tripod that I hurry up and did it. So I think I put these shows getting ready for StreamYard.
Yeah.
And I was working overtime. I hit the gym and there's just not enough time in a day. And I'm just like, I'm on the podcast mode of thinking of ideas and doing stuff. Yep. And I am just so chaotic, but we're going to get chaotic here momentarily about some pop culture stuff. But before we do that, we got to bring him in. He is the action figure connoisseur. He has the anchor to most of these top 10s of stuff that I don't know sometimes. But he always has the in-depth and detailed top 10s of, because he's a little younger than us, Shane. So yeah. He's more open than we are. I think we're closed-minded. I think we are. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show as always is our man Cable. Cable, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How you guys doing?
I think you're good. I think you're a little bit more open sometimes than us old guys.
I don't want to touch on that. I'll let you comment, Bubba.
No, your pop culture. You see a lot of different stuff. You watch a lot of different stuff. And it goes from it's very vast variety of stuff, So I think out of the three of us, you watch a lot of diversified, a lot of different stuff, and then Shane's probably a close second. But then there's me who doesn't watch. I won't watch nothing until I get your opinion, and then Shane's opinion, sometimes I go watch it. So that's probably the case. So I mean, tonight's a big night because
it's crazy.
Tonight right now. Yeah, tonight's a big night because next week me and Shane will be down at the Ben Franklin Tap Room for Steelers Dynasty and Steelers Nation Australia doing the draft in a facility that is spectacular. Get some grub on, meet some people. We're excited, and that'll be Thursday night. Maybe I don't know if I'm not doing it on this channel, but everything's going to be on the Dynasty channel, so we will be taking a little hiatus for 1 week, and then we'll be back. We're going to give our top 10. We have 2 weeks for that. So whose turn is it? It's yours, Shane?
Yours. No, it's yours.
Fuck. Okay, well, then I'll have to think of something before the show ends because we got 2 weeks to do it, so I'll be doing my homework. But, guys, before we get into our top 10 best top movie directors of all time, I hope it was movie directors because that's what I got. I didn't get TV people.
No.
Okay, good. Okay. So
yeah, just movies.
Okay, so let's see. I want to see if you guys watched. Did you guys watch the latest episode of Daredevil? Because I know we talk a little bit about shows we were watching before we go on.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, what did you think of the last?
I watched episode? 2/3 of it. I thought it was not as good as the past ones, but
why, Shane? If you don't mind me asking. Well, maybe you're tired.
Yeah, maybe I just wasn't feeling it.
You didn't like the backstory?
I honestly can't even remember what it was about other than it seemed to go back her like history and how she started out, and she was like an art dealer and all this other shit, and I just lost me. I was just like,
well, they went back to the Netflix show.
oh,
So
okay.
they inspired on how she put that painting out, because when he walked into the auction, he walked in with that
That
painting.
was
And
so
was
long
like,
ago, I don't remember any of that. So
oh
that's
yeah,
probably why
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like where's this coming from?
And then people thought, Froggy was coming back, but I think it's all. I think he's dead. So, but I don't know. But they're just doing old, retelling stories from the past. So
Yeah.
that's keeping that character alive. And he actually had a morality kind of thing. Did you think that same way, Cable? Because since Shane didn't like. I mean,
I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't really paying. At halfway through, I'm starting playing on my phone because I'm like, I'm not following this.
See, I can't do that when it's good MCU stuff. I can't do it on my phone stuff.
Yeah,
obviously, it wasn't good enough to keep my attention.
I'm leaning more towards Shane. Now I watched the whole episode, so I will say Shane. The ending,
okay,
is a pretty big deal. But I like the connections. I like all the flashbacks with Foggy and seeing Vanessa pick out that painting. But it just wasn't enough to grab me. And
what, more action? You wanted more action this time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, coming back from episode 4 to episode 5, and I like character-driven stuff. I like to spend time with characters and things like that. But honestly, for all the people that are, I'm almost at the point where I'm like, do we need this Daredevil TV show anymore? Like, I'm so happy to see Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. I'm glad the character's back, but for me, it's more cons than pros. I just don't think it's that thrilling of a show. I'm not that invested.
God damn, I don't know what to say, and I'm always fucking saying something. But hold on. But I mean, it's actually you can't have every show like last week with the action of Bullseye. You know what I mean? Because now he has to, he saved them. He's not going to kill them because of it recanted the past. On how Kingpin has always been a thorn in fucking Murdoch's side the whole time. So I mean, I thought she was dead, but then I was like, last week I was like, I don't know. I was like, that's not a big fucking globe of fucking death there in the fucking in the temple. But with you two guys, and especially, I'm so surprised at what you just said, Cable, on how it doesn't. Like,
I can't put my finger on why. It's just isn't grabbing me. It feels dull, and I think maybe part of that slightly, and it's not fair. It's never fair to do something like this. But I think back to their last TV show, Wonder Man was must see. I couldn't wait for that new episode, and Daredevil feels a little bit like a chore.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt I had no, like, usually, like, even if I fall asleep, this first thing I do, I wake up.
No, I watched it last night after our Steelers show. I went downstairs and then I just engulf and I pay attention. But I mean, they fucking, the doctor saved, thought they saved her. I thought she had amnesia because she was forgetting, tell me a story, this and that. And, because she's the only thing that fucking makes him not go fucking, because he's going to go, it's going to be fucking bad. But you can't have every episode like that. You have a little bit. You have Daredevil fucking saving fucking Bullseye from the fucking, they're in the church, and that fucking priest is probably going to get the shit kicked out of him by them fucking cops, because those guys are all dirty as fuck. You know what I mean? I was waiting for Jessica Jones to come, because I don't know how many more episodes. She's just going to make a fucking brief appearance. I mean, it's going to be a sneeze. I'm not going to be happy with that. And then go right into May, 2 weeks, and then the fucking Punisher fucking shows on. Like, I just think they're getting up, and they're already filming season 3. I think season 3 is getting filmed as we speak, if I'm not mistaken. I think if we see Daredevil with any type of interaction with Peter Parker, will be in the suits, not fucking as Murdoch and Parker, Spider-Man and Daredevil. If we see that, then that's something obtainable. But I like they need longer episodes, like a count. Instead of 9, they need like 15. But that's just me, because now we haven't even seen the psychiatrist at all. So that I must have bored Shane so much he fucking left.
I don't think it was you. I think it's Daredevil.
Daredevil. He's like, I got to go.
I'm definitely not down for more episodes. Not at all.
Oh, wow.
I think Game of Thrones perfected it. I don't see any reason why any show needs to be more than 10 episodes in a season.
Okay.
And I honestly, I don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is. But it's not doing it for me right now. And I know every episode can't be like last episode, but to go from last episode and then you got 6 hours of Daredevil just dragging around Bullseye, like that wasn't compelling to me. That didn't do it for me.
I
like
it. I'm outgunned tonight, but
I like everything else. This episode was it went from like moving, nice pacing and everything, to just like a screeching halt, and it just felt like a totally different story.
I thought they were going to kill the fucking Michael Gandolfi character, and I don't know.
Yeah,
and I thought that fucking his sidekick. No, because he could be the Rose, so he could be the one.
I don't know the Rose.
Okay, the Rose was
major characters. I don't want to see some.
No, the Rose in the comic book was his son who turned on him. Okay. And he had a mask. He had a rose. He had a white fucking lapel. I don't know if they're going to do that because, I don't know if they could, but I don't know. But I thought it was BB, the fucking news reporter in the back. That wasn't her.
I thought that too, yeah.
Bubba, I just hope Bette Midler doesn't come out and start singing the Rose, like.
Yeah, no, that's true, yeah. But Devil, I do like Monarch. I did not see. Did you guys see the new trailer for Godzilla -1?
No,
yeah, trailers putting it.
Oh Jesus Christ! You're fucking. Oh no!
There wasn't a lot of footage in it. I don't think. No, I'm not a huge Godzilla. What? This is -0, right? -1 was the one that already came out. No, I have that backwards.
I don't know. Is it minus?
They should just call it Godzilla fucking in math. I mean,
but I only saw -1 once in theaters, and I really liked it. It was very good, but I'm not a super fan or anything. So, I know part of that trailer, I thought at least part of that trailer there's kind of rehashing stuff out of the first movie. So I didn't think it was like a full-fledged trailer. But I'm interested. It looks cool. I think they took a step backwards.
I'll go watch it, but I don't think it has.
I probably will.
It has nothing to do. The Monarch series has Kurt Russell, so anything with Kurt Russell.
Well, that's tied to the other Godzilla series, right? Yeah. My son loves them, so we'll probably go see them. But
I believe it's tied to the Godzilla -1 because in last season Godzilla come out right after World War II. So
yeah, that was cool.
And I
like that.
No, one's not tied to Monarch. That's completely separate.
It wasn't anything. They didn't have anything to Monarch, but they did have Godzilla like right after the war, and they were bomb tested and shit. Yeah,
right. That's the classic Godzilla timeline. I think they took a step backwards in effects. I did notice that in the trailer, which I'm. That's one of my pet peeves is bad effects in movies. And that was Godzilla -1 was, that it won special effects at the Oscars 2 years ago. And they have a bigger budget. And I think they leaned more into CGI and I think it's noticeable. So, it is what it is. Didn't look bad. But there was other trailers that came out this week that I'm much more interested in. So
tell me which ones before we go on to the director. I'm curious now because I got to end this on a good note here.
It's fun that they both put out a trailer this week because of their relation to each other. But next month, Mortal Kombat 2 comes out. And I was a big fan of the one they put out around COVID. I think 2021 it came out, the reboot. I really like that take on Mortal Kombat. The sequel comes out next month. And then 5 months later, the other most famous arcade fighting game of all time video game, Street Fighter. And they put a full length trailer out today, and it looks so much fun. You know, I've never played Street Fighter in my life. I lean towards Mortal Kombat more than Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. And I typically, I don't know how I feel about the casting of Cody Rhodes and, you know, Roman Reigns and all that.
They're not good actors.
No, but you don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting in these movies. So I think it looks like it's going to be fun as shit. So I was very thrilled that they both put a trailer out this week.
Okay. Well, see, those movies there, I can watch them at home.
Mm-hmm.
There's only certain movies, like I always talk about on the show, about actually going to the movies. Godzilla, probably one of them, Planet of the Apes, Marvel, Star Wars. And the Star Wars Mandalorian is supposedly supposed to open up with the lowest fucking opening ever in a Star Wars movie.
I believe that.
Because they're fucking.
I don't think I'm even going to go see it.
Ooh, wow.
I got to, and I know the other guy, the bookend, the two bookend Star Wars fans.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, I do too, because I think it's a couple years too late. I think that they should have did it 2 years ago, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're supposed to be like 75 million opening, and that's way worse than Solo. And no offense, I thought Solo was pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. You know, but you got to take into account the theater landscape is completely different than it was. You know, Solo came out in what, 2018, somewhere around there.
Definitely before that fucking virus of COVID.
Yeah, and with streaming, you know, it doesn't behoove the casual fan to go to a movie theater and fight for a seat, go out of the house.
I know.
You know, unless you're, I mean, just like what you said, Bubba, and that's how a lot of people are. That's, to me, I go to the movies all the time, but there's still ones that I'm not gonna go out of my way to see because they hit streaming so fast. And, you know, everybody's busy. Everybody's got stuff going on. The cost of living's going up. Cost of, you know, fuel's going up, all that stuff. So movie theater, you can't compare what movies were making 6 years ago to what they're making now. But that being said, that doesn't surprise me either, because I think they lost momentum on Mandalorian. I think Star Wars in general has lost momentum. You know, it's easy to be a hit on Disney Plus when you put out season 2 of Andor and it's, you know, up here. Yes. People don't have to go out of their house to watch it. But and when you watch that trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, honestly, that could have just been a Disney Plus special. I don't know that it's necessary that. I
think it could have been a TV show, but I mean, not because they made it a movie. But I think with Ryan Gosling playing the next movie is him playing nothing.
Now, that's interesting.
That has to be something that, I mean. But you never know. You never know. In the Chinese market, fucking Star Wars could fucking kick off because the Japanese and other countries watch stuff, and it could explode to make it a you know, whatever. But
yeah, international market could go big. But like you said, with the Ryan Gosling movie, there's a perfect example of where movie fans and, you know, Star Wars fans need to step up, because people have been bitching for years now. Leave the Skywalker corner of the universe alone. Quit doing, you know, all the same stuff you've been doing. So they're getting their wish. You're getting a bona fide movie star coming into Star Wars fresh, new character for live action. I don't know if it's an original character, if it's just a new character to live action movies. Go out and support the movie then. Right. If that's been your complaint for all these years, you're finally getting what you're asking for. Yeah. Go support the movie.
Well, I can't speak for Shane, and Shane can go off on this one, but when they went woke, they went broke with Star Wars. The last 3 movies was terrible. Acolyte was terrible. Was
so bad.
Yeah. The Boba Fett could have been better. The 3 movies,
quality has just been bad. You know, I mean, tell your story, you know, if you want. Just don't. The biggest thing for me, and I've never been a huge Star Wars fan. You know, I saw the original movies for the first time when they were re-released them on their 20th anniversary. I think they put them out in '97, and then, you know, watched the prequels. Was a fan of the prequels.
50 years next year. 50 years
That's
of Star Wars.
insane. But I was never a diehard or anything like that. And I still felt slightly insulted by how they've been breaking the lore and changing the lore. It feels like the same thing with the MCU. I think the MCU is back on track now, but those first couple years coming out of COVID, you had so many cooks in the kitchen. You were losing track of your central thread, your vision for the universe, and so many creative voices that weren't being managed. And you're bringing people in that don't have a love for the IP or the original content just because they want to tell stories, and they put their own shit in these movies and TV shows. It doesn't have anything to do with the source material. So, I didn't watch Acolyte. I can't fairly judge it.
I can. And me and Shane can. It fucking sucked.
What I know of what they've done to the lore alone is enough that I didn't want to watch it. And
terrible.
My stock is down on Star Wars right now, and I don't feel like giving it my time.
Yeah. They should have never did that. And me and Shane know. And that's all we can say. But I know me and Shane will go see Mandalorian.
I enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett at times. It is. I take it for what it was. And Obi-Wan, when that guy did like the reshoot, like he cut and edited some parts, it made a lot more sense, and it got a lot better just with the fan changing some things around. So I don't know. There's some things I like, but there's some things that just ruin it for everyone. And the casual fan, you're not going to bring them back, and that's unfortunate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of fucking movable chairs. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Movable chairs to get back to where we always got to be, because we got
our original lineup.
The original lineup. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. This was Cable's topic. Top 10 movie directors.
And with that intro, before we get started, I'd like to apologize to everybody. I did not know what I was doing. This is hands down, no arguments at all, by a landslide, the hardest list that I've done. I have 10 honorable mentions. Could not narrow it down any smaller than that. I don't like my list. I don't feel good with my list, but it was just the closest thing that I could live with. I can make an argument for anybody that's in my honorable mentions portion to be actually on the lower part of the list. This was hard.
Well, I'm already thinking about 2 weeks from now, and it might even be hotter. So, but anyway, here we go. Top 10 movie directors. My number 10. I'm going back old school. Probably the oldest director. Well, one of them anyway. You know what? No, my number 10 is going to be Alfred Hitchcock. That's my number 10. That's probably the oldest one. Alfred Hitchcock, number 10. Shane,
Window.
Number 10.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 10 should be higher because just some of my favorite movies this guy did. Now, he did do Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but he did Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, Castaway. Back to the Future right there just is one of my favorite movies. So Robert Zemeckis. Excellent
pick.
Good pick.
That is excellent. He didn't even make my list. I just forgot about it. But now that you've mentioned him, I got to throw him in the honorable mentions list that's ever growing.
He has to be there.
Oh, number 10. If this is 10, that is a good pick, John Landis. That is a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Good pick. Very good pick. So Cable, you're number 10?
All right, my number 10, I had Alfred Hitchcock as number 10. One of my early drafts of this countdown, I had him as number 10, but then I bumped him down to an honorable mention. My number 10, probably coming in low, but this is how it shook out. Couldn't fight with it anymore. Stanley Kubrick.
Good.
He doesn't have a huge filmography, but it's impactful. 2001 Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
Full Metal Jacket is the only whole movie I've ever watched of him.
He's
Wow.
higher. He's higher on my list.
Yeah.
He's higher on my list.
Okay.
It was the
Yeah,
quality. It's the quality,
I
not
mean,
the quantity.
I watched half of The Shining. I never saw Clockwork Orange, and 2001: To Space Odyssey. The only time I watched it is listen to Ric Flair fucking going out to the fucking ring. I've never. So I don't even have him on my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Well, Shane just said something very important that I'm probably going to touch on a little bit as my list goes through. Quality over quantity. This was a hard angle for me to come from also because like Shane said, you have quality of movies, then you have impact of their movies, which is another thing with Kubrick. His impact is huge.
Yeah.
Even for, Dr. Strangelove, another one.
There's guys that are just on par with the quality, but I just put them ahead because I like their movies more. But they might not be a better director.
Right.
Because this is our opinion. So
that's it. Can't go wrong with that.
Right. However you want to rank it. So there was a lot of things in here. I have one higher on my list. I'll stop talking, but that I've only seen 2 of his movies, but his impact, I had to put him on here. So.
Okay. Well, my number 9. The only movie that I went to see 3 of his fucking movies. 2 of them was 1 and 2. One was a remake that was fucking terrible. The original is one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. And my number 9 is Tim Burton, because Planet of the Apes remake he made fucking sucked. But
yeah.
He did do Batman, and he did do Edward Scissorhands, and he did, so
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes. So yes, Tim Burton is my number 9. I just have a whole list, and then I just throw darts, whatever I want to pick. But yeah, Devils is Kevin Smith.
Oh, that's fun. That's a good one.
Yeah. So he's like, don't give me no shit on that one. No, it's your opinion, brother. I like Kevin Smith.
My number 9, guys. He's one of the best of all time because people love The Godfather. I'm not a huge Godfather fan. I am a Robert Duvall fan, and I am Apocalypse Now fan. That's a great movie. Francis Ford Coppola at number 9.
Ooh, okay.
Good pick.
Okay. Cable.
All right. Well, both of you guys just list off a couple honorable mentions for me. That's why this is so tough. Francis Ford Coppola, some of the Godfather Part 2, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Heart of Darkness was a good one.
Yeah, shit, I'm blanking. See, I wanted to have a list, but I can't make a list for all the movies for honorable mentions. And then Bubba, Tim Burton, he's an honorable mention of mine. Couldn't crack the top 10. And I actually, as you guys were talking, I just audibled. So my number 9 right now is not what my number 9 was coming into the beginning of the show. I had Quentin Tarantino as number 9, and he's got some awesome, pieces of cinema. I don't love everything he's done. So I just bumped him down to an honorable mention, and I replaced him with David Fincher, who was an honorable mention. And I think I'm happier with him on my list. You got 7, Fight Club, The Game, The Killer. It's
Zodiac.
Gone yeah.
Girl.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Gone Girl. Yeah, that I enjoy his filmography more than Quentin Tarantino's. I'll say that. Reservoir Dogs is outstanding. I actually am not that big of a fan of Pulp Fiction, so
What?
Yeah, it's just
not your cup of tea.
But I feel good with David Fincher at 9. I'm glad that I made that change. I feel good about that.
Okay, right on. Now we're at number 8. Number 8 is the oldest one in my list because he directed a lot of John Wayne movies, and his name is John Ford. Lot of fucking good John Wayne movies. So that is number 8. I think he won 4 Oscars.
Okay.
You forgot the first rule of Fight Club. So Shane, your
How
number
can you
8?
not talk about it? It's too good.
My number 8 is Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cable.
My number 8, depending on what age group you're talking to, which generation you're talking to, I would get eviscerated for having this name this low. But if if it was like directors of the 20th century, he'd be way higher. But with so many options, my number 8 is Denis Villeneuve, and he did Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, the Dune movies. He did some foreign language films before that also. Prisoners was his first English-speaking movie. He is exactly what you think of when you think of modern cinema.
Wait, is that Prisoner? Is that when they were like in a French prison?
No, that's the kids that get kidnapped. Hugh Jackman's the dad.
Oh, I was thinking the guy who played
Papillon.
The guy who played fucking Freddie Mercury and Charlie Hunnam it was a true story about a lifelong prison. It was good.
Yeah. No, this is Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. And it's just about it's a rough watch. I'll say that.
Gotcha. Okay. Devil's number 8 was John Carpenter.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I'm going to piggyback, and that is going to be my number 7 because he directed They Live, Escape from New York, and my number 1 Halloween movie of all time, the original Halloween. So I'm putting him in as my number 7, piggybacking right off of Devil. So there we go. And his number 7 was Judd Apatow.
Oh, that's a good one. I am going with, guys. You guys are gonna laugh. You ready? Tim Burton.
I'm not gonna laugh. I put him on my list.
Edward Scissorhands. He did a Pee Wee Herman movie, which was fantastic.
It was.
Tequila. Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice. I mean, he's great.
He's got one of the most recognizable visual styles out of the entire list.
Absolutely. Hey, you know watch that movie and you just automatically know from the soundtrack, from the visuals. Oh, that's Tim Burton.
Absolutely.
See, Devil said that's a good one, Shane. See? Yeah. That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my honorable mentions. I can't, that's absolutely.
Gable, your number 7.
My number 7, I say this every week on every countdown. Could have been higher, but it's just how the dice rolled on this one. I have Ridley Scott at number 7.
Oh.
I kind of figured that you probably would have had him on there. I just don't know where.
He's 11 for me.
I don't have him on there, but I mean, he is a good actor in that genre.
And yeah, you got the original Alien, you got Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, The Martian. He's done so many other smaller ones like Matchstick Men that I love that movie. It's not super, I don't want to say well known, but it's not talked about a ton. It's a fantastic Sam Rockwell, Nicolas Cage movie. He just does stuff like that, and for what he did for entire genres, sci-fi genre, Alien, Blade Runner, those are cornerstones in that genre. And then he can go and make a movie like Thelma and Louise, or his Gladiator, one of the top 20 best movies of all time, probably. Best picture, best director, best everything at the Academy Awards in 2000. So I think his scope is very impressive.
Okay. Number 6. My number 6 is one of the great comedies that there's a couple great comedies. A lot of great comedies in this guy's fucking, you know what I mean? He did direct the greatest comedy of all time in my eyes, Animal House. So my number 6 is John Landis, because he also did Coming to America, and he also did Trading Places. I mean, I'm going, and the Blues Brothers. So right that, boom. I didn't even say fucking American Wolf and
I was just gonna say that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't even say that one. So my number 6 is John Landis. That's probably my only comedic director, and the comedies that he directed are all top notch. And like, yeah, Animal House and Trading Places is two of my fucking favorite fucking movies. So, okay, Shane.
This is probably going to be high on Cable's list. James Cameron. I mean, Avatar, right? Titanic. I like more the Terminator and Aliens movies he did in Terminator 2, but James Cameron's on my list.
Nice.
Cable? It's a good entry. I'll take this time to say he is honorable mention, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I really thought he would have been somewhere in my final top 10 because, like you said, Terminator 2, Aliens, Titanic, the Avatar trilogy. He just is so good at blockbusters. And, he took a couple movies, Alien, Terminator, completely turned them around in his own style with the sequels, made them both, some of the best action movies of all time. So, yeah, I would have thought he would have ended up in my top 10, but he did not. Coming in at number 6 on my list, I think will be the only time this director's mentioned. I don't foresee you guys having him on your list, but PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, is number 6. Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, The Master, Inherent Vice, and his most recent One Battle After Another. He has his own quirky style. His movies, you almost can't pigeonhole them into one genre, almost any of them. He always has fantastic casts in his movies. His first big mainstream breakthrough was Boogie Nights, a movie about the porn industry. And then he makes a movie that has one of the most memorable character studies of all time, and especially in modern cinema, with There Will Be Blood. And, he just swept the Oscars last year, this year, but for his movie from last year, One Battle After Another. He's definitely one of the best modern filmmakers going. So I had to slot him in somewhere.
Okay. Well, number 5. I'm putting him in there because I am. Number 5 is George Lucas. Number 5. He did not direct Empire Strikes Back, which is the greatest movie of all time, but he did do Star Wars. He did some other stuff. So that's why he's on my list. So, Shane, you're number 5.
Mine is man, this sounds like a easy one. Martin Scorsese, guys.
Well, you and Devil had the same one. Okay.
Yep.
Good pick.
Okay. Cable.
All right, my number 5 I alluded to earlier. I'll also say while I got the mic, George Lucas is an honorable mention for me. American Graffiti, the original Star Wars, landmark sci-fi. But like you said, he didn't even direct Empire, and smaller filmography, not as many hits. So he is on the list, honorable mention. My number 5 is Akira Kurosawa. And I'd never watched a single movie by him before 3 weeks ago. And I watched 2 of his movies, and he's a Japanese director who was started making movies in the 50s. And I believe he was making movies up through the 90s. And he made some of the most important cinematic achievements in directing. He was the first director to ever film the sun, an image of the sun on screen. His movie Rashomon, which is one of the ones I just watched, is the first movie to ever tell multiple perspectives on one story. So, an event happens and all these characters are telling their version of events. He was the first one to film a movie in that style. Seven Samurai is his other big one that I watched that spawned the remake Seven, Magnificent Seven. I feel good putting him at 5 because I've only seen 2 of his movies, and I don't think that only having seen 2 of his movies can take away his impact on cinema. And if I see more movies, he may have been higher, but I can't go any higher than that, having only seen 2. And his legacy is just huge. There's one of the most famous anime films of all time is named Akira because of him, because of his impact. So had to be on my list. I really fought. I was like, where do I put him? Haven't seen a ton of his movies, but I need to honor him on this list. So middle of the pack.
Okay. I'm going to go number 4. Number 4, I'm going to go with the director of the remake of King Kong and Lord of the Rings. I'm going with Peter Jackson at number 4.
Good pick.
Peter Jackson's my number 4. Shane, you'll be surprised about my number 1. I know what my number 1's going to be. It's going to be, you might think it. Cable might get it, but
I think he will.
Yeah.
My number 4 is pretty. It was a pretty easy pick for me. I like most of his movies, probably 80% of them. Quentin Tarantino is number 4 for me.
Okay. All right. Cable, you're number 4.
My number 4 is 2 directors, but it's not cheating because they make movies together most of the time. It's the Coen brothers. Anything I've seen by them, I've loved. They make fantastic movies. The Miller's Crossing, Fargo, Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, which I still argue is a 10 out of 10 movie, perfect movie. True Grit remake more recently. They've done some other stuff. Those are their highlights to me. They came in, they made, right off the bat, they did Raising Arizona. Blood Simple is their first movie, but Raising Arizona with a very young Nicolas Cage, goofy movie. Soundtrack has banjos in it. It's just a wild movie. And they continued that, they specialized for the most part in controlled ridiculousness, I guess. It's just over the top stuff. You look at the Big Lebowski and Jeff Bridges doing musical numbers in that movie, and Jeff, oh my God, Roseanne's husband. I'm blanking on his name right now.
John Goodman.
John Goodman, yeah. His over the top character in that movie. They just, Oh Brother, We're Out Thou. They have such a long filmography that's so solid.
Okay. My number 3 is a former actor. He has had a lot of good movies. Now he's like 90-some years old. He probably could still fucking shoot a gun. My number 3 is Clint Eastwood as the director. Clint Eastwood is my number 3.
Excellent pick.
Wow, I can't believe that.
What? You can't believe what?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't think. I wasn't even thinking of him.
Oh my God, he's had a lot, like $1 Million Baby.
I know. He did a lot. I've Gran Torino. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a good one. Bubba.
Mystic River.
River.
He's in my honorable mentions.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, he's in my honorable mentions.
Because every movie that he directed, you know what I mean? It's something. It was getting Oscars.
Flags of Our Fathers. Letters from Iwo Jima.
I think he's retired now. I think he, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's done.
I mean,
his last few weren't that good, but you look at his whole body. I was talking to. I haven't seen any of his comments pop up. I don't know if he's watching, but Daniel about this at work, and I think his directorial efforts are more important than his acting efforts.
I agree.
I agree. I mean, he was just, he didn't say much. He didn't have to. His actions, shooting people,
Right.
Spitting on dogs when he was the outlaw Josie Wells, just good
I
stuff.
mean, Are You Feeling Lucky? That's one of the most iconic cinema lines of all time. But even at that, I still
kids nowadays
directing.
don't even know what the fuck that is. They have no fucking idea.
That's
They
true.
got no idea who fucking Dirty Harry is. They think Dirty Harry is some guy who didn't take a shower.
Well, my number 3 is pretty much Cable. Just wrapped it up with a bow. Joel and Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers, man.
Oh, awesome!
My favorite, True Grit, Big Lebowski. What different movies? And then No Country for Old Men. That just runs the gambit of just campy fun to like legitimate great remake to original, like it's just great. They're fantastic. I could have put them at number 1 for myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. I love that that's higher than my ranking. I think that's so awesome.
It is. I had a number 2 and I moved them.
Okay.
I can only imagine what Cables is going to be.
So I got a big shakeup going on now. My top 3, I can make an argument. I mean, I feel pretty good about number 1, but 2 and 3, I'm going back and forth, and I'm going to swap it. So my new number 3 was my old number 2, Martin Scorsese. I mean, his body of work is just huge. He's made so many movies, and he hasn't missed on very many, but Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Casino, The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street. Right. Departed's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think I feel good about bumping him down to 3rd because Shutter Island, there's another good one. The majority of his filmography is all gangsters. It's very, it's crime heavy, gangsters, things like that. And he's been swinging and missing a lot in the last couple of years. He made like a 4-hour movie, The Irishman, that just, I didn't even watch it.
I didn't either.
Which, whatever. I'm not, I haven't really focused on anybody's negatives, but with him kind of not really jumping outside of his mold a ton, I feel good about moving him down to 3.
Okay. I'm curious what your doing 1 is.
I like The Irishman.
But I'm going to say
I didn't give it a chance. So
I'm going to say my number 2 is probably your number 1.
Okay.
My number 2, because he'd done a lot of stuff, and we actually, we did a body of his work in a top 10. My number 2 is Steven Spielberg. Was my number 2.
Yeah.
And I figured he's got to be somewhere in your fucking list. He is not honorable mention on your list, Gable. There's no way. There's no fucking way. So, Shane, you're number 2.
My number 2 is George Walton Lucas Jr. Star Wars.
Wait. Oh, I was like, what the fuck did you say?
George.
Oh, wow. I know he did. I was like, who the fuck is that?
George Lucas, guys.
I'm shocked you have him.
Wow. I'm surprised you have him that high.
I have him that high just because
of Star Wars. Star Wars.
The amount of money and just he changed everything. I mean, we wouldn't have had the 80s toys we had if George Lucas didn't have that deal for the merchandising. I mean, he just we're talking about directors, but I mean, he just
right here. I don't have him out of the fucking case though, but
yeah, so it's just a big deal. I mean,
there I am, old man.
I think action figures too would have went by the wayside. I mean, he did so many things.
Merchandising on a whole. Yeah, the pulp culture merchandising of toys.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I love the movies too. Yeah, so
I mean, it was $1.77 in Hills. $1.77 to buy an action figure. Now, that figure I just shown is like $25. Like how much inflation goes. I mean, all about action figures there, Kemosabe.
Yeah, but back then, $5 would make you holler.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so I'm so curious on your number 1 also, Shane. So. Cable, you're number 2.
My number 2, my former number 3. I'll say what I said earlier on one of my former entries. If this was greatest directors of the 20th century, this would probably be my number 1. Christopher Nolan has completely redone he doesn't have a single bad movie on his entire resume. That being said, there is one I haven't seen. It's his first ever movie. It's super indie. It's not like a mainstream. It wasn't put out by a mainstream movie studio, but Memento. I will scream at the top of my lungs to anybody that's never seen Memento, go watch it. It is. It's this weird thing where it's not a. If you watch the movie chronologically, it wouldn't be noteworthy, but he tells this movie in reverse. And that's right out of the gate. That's his first major studio movie, is a movie that works backwards. And he always does that stuff with like Tenet and Dunkirk. He plays with Inception, dream within a dream within a dream. He always plays with these types of mechanics in movies. And you have the Dark Knight trilogy. I still will say, for at least, if they stop making superhero movies now, in my eyes, The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie ever made. I've said that before. I stand by that.
You have numerous times.
Right. Prestige, already mentioned Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk. I even like Tenet. Tenet is probably his least popular movie.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, it's tough to follow, but I liked it. Then he comes out and he makes Oppenheimer a couple years ago and finally wins the Academy Awards. Excellent movie. And he's got the Odyssey coming out this summer that I'm just foaming at the mouth for, basically. Haven't seen it, so it can't count towards the list, but everything he does is phenomenal. And it's the best thing about going to the movies these days. His movies absolutely need to be seen on theater screens. So,
can't watch it on a 50-inch screen TV. It just doesn't do it justice.
Not for the first time. No, first time. You got to go see it on the big screen.
Right. Okay. I think I might have guessed yours already. I'm guessing. I can't win fucking Powerballs or anything like that, but I can win the small stuff. But I'm going into honorable mentions, and all these guys are mostly on all your guys' lists. Now, I didn't make my list because it's my opinion, and my list is a little crazier than both of yours. But I have honorable mention, James Cameron, of course, more of the Aliens and Terminator like Shane. Okay, Francis Ford Coppola, Godfathers, and Apocalypse Now. I've seen both those. Scorsese, yes. He just couldn't. There's some other movies that I liked from other directors. Not been mentioned, but probably be mentioned, and maybe your guys' honorable mention, probably Cable's and Shane's. Ron Howard, honorable mention.
Good one. Mm-hmm.
Good one. Damn
okay. Also, Quentin Tarantino, you guys mentioned him. Okay, Christopher Nolan, because to me, just the Dark Knight is what I liked him for. Some of his the movie where the fucking buildings come up. What's that movie?
Inception.
Yeah, it fucks up it fucks up my head with my eyes. Okay. You guys never mentioned this guy. You might have in your honorable mention, could be your number one, but I don't think so. Oliver Stone.
That's a good pick.
Oliver Stone. Nice. And then Robert Zemeckis. Shane already had him, Back to the Future and stuff like that. But here's my last honorable mention. He hasn't been mentioned yet. Mr. Sam Raimi is honorable mention.
That's a good one.
Honorable mention. Okay, now here's my number one. And my number one is this, because if you're a director, okay, and that's why I George Lucas with Shane, made the toys and this and that. But these directors now, when they make a movie, it's an epic event that in years in the making. So when they did Winter Soldier and they did Infinity War and they Gauntlet and all that.
Holy shit.
Yes, because of that.
Wow.
Yes, because of that way of, the end game fucking $1 billion. Okay. When they do Doomsday and Secret Wars could be the possibly fucking most movie ever fucking made in those three movies alone will probably be the most fucking money ever made in any type of movies together of all time. So that is why, because they can't, Marvel MCU cannot do that without these two brothers, the Russo brothers. They can't do it. It can't be done without those guys. They are the fucking linchpin. Now, Doomsday to the Secret Wars, which is going to make fucking probably $8.7 billion fucking dollars. And you're like, because it's going to happen. So directors like that,
maybe before COVID,
it's still going to make it. Because
still going to make bank for sure.
Yes, I mean, every day is some talk of any fucking movie that they're, anything. So that's my number one is the Russo brothers. And nobody said, maybe people will, but I don't know. And those are Devils. So, okay, Shane, your honorable mentions.
This guy could be in my top 5 and he just drops in and out. John Hughes, 16 Candles, Home Alone, Breakfast Club, good movies, but just weren't quite at that quality. Home Alone is in there, but Mel Brooks is another one. I mean, he's won an Emmy, a Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Good one.
I mean, he's great. Wes Craven. No one mentioned Wes Craven.
Oh, that was a good one too, Shane.
No. And then another one, this Peter Jackson. Lord of the Rings.
Bubba had Peter Jackson, didn't you, Bubba?
Oh, he did? Okay,
yes,
okay.
Yes, I did.
Well, my number one is Steven Spielberg.
You both are probably going to have the same fucking one.
It's a good pick.
But
it's a good pick because Steven Spielberg's done E.T. He's done, Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Indiana Jones.
Jones. Yeah.
Schindler's List. Saving Private Ryan.
War Horse. Yeah. Catch Me If You Can, Minority Report, Terminal. Yeah, he has a lot of good movies. But so that's my number one.
Good one.
Good pick, brother. Good pick. Candy Bull.
All right. Well, most of my honorable mentions have been said. I have Russo brothers as an honorable mention. What they did in the superhero category can't be understated. For sure. I just, legacy and things like that, they didn't make my top 10. Peter Jackson, Shane just mentioned him, Bubby is on your list. I think Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy of all time. What he did, that was the movie that they didn't think was possible to film. The books, they never thought that would translate to film. And he made them Academy Award-winning movies. Tim Burton, Quentin Tarantino. Couple that I haven't heard still. Guillermo del Toro.
Yep.
Devil had very good honorable mention.
Okay. And Michael Mann. We haven't talked about. Last of the Mohicans, which I actually haven't seen. I believe we discussed that because of Shane's love of the movie. But he did that. Then he follows that up. I think his next movie, there might have been one in there between. He does Heat. Public Enemies is so. Miami Vice was cool. Collateral. He's got a smaller. He did the first ever Hannibal Lecter movie, Manhunter.
Yep,
way before Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins. So I had to throw him on. You get Brian De Palma. He's got some good movies. I loved Oliver Stone. That was a good one. And one that, sometimes he can be a little too in his bag with his style of filmmaking. And sometimes it just hits the right way, especially his earlier stuff. And I feel like a dumbass because I thought of him, but I can't remember his name to put him on my honorable mentions list. But the action guy that does Transform, Michael Bay. One of the best action directors coming out of the 90s. So those are my honorable mentions.
Miami Vice is a good movie you made.
Yeah. But my number one, Shane said it, Bubba, you already guessed it.
I fucking knew it. How can I guess your fucking number ones, but I can't fucking win in a Powerball? saved my fucking life to help people out in a charitable time of need.
Maybe I'm just not as random as a bunch of numbers. Maybe I'm more predictable, I guess. But Shane listed them off. A few other ones that we didn't mention: Jaws, Jurassic Park. He invented the blockbuster movie with Jaws.
He did.
He completely invented that. And then he could do movies like that. And he's made generational movies for every generation. He said E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws. People were scared to go to the beach because of Jaws when that movie came out.
I'm scared to go swimming anyway, so I'm good.
And then, for my generation, Jurassic Park is a huge. Everybody my age, thinks fondly of Jurassic Park. And then as he's making Jurassic Park at the same time, he's going back and forth, and he's also making Schindler's List at the same time he's making Jurassic Park. Then you make Saving Private Ryan, which has potentially, one of the best film. The opening of that movie is so visceral and so well done. You hear that from a lot of veterans of people that have served, of how well he hit the nail on the head with his depiction of that. And Indiana Jones, I'm not a huge fan of it. And in my eyes, that's only a trilogy. No other Indiana Jones movies exist outside of the original three. But
right. I agree with you. All the other ones suck ass.
Landmark movies. Where would cinema be without him? So he's got to be my number one.
Yep. Nice. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Another one in the book.
Another one in the books. Now, since I'm going to put it out there because next week we're going to be here, and we're getting ready for that next week. But so we're going to preempt it. Next week we're taking a week off. But while we take a week off, people in YouTube land, hey, get on to Best of Indiana County and vote for the Triple B Experience for the #1 podcast, because now we got nominated. I don't know who fucking nominated us. Vote every day. And I want to check out the other people because they are not dealing with the hardest working podcast out there, because the Triple B Experience with the Thursday nights with the interviews and the Steelers Dynasty podcast goes all on the audio format, and it's called the Triple B Experience. Now, I know the Steelers Dynasty podcast is a YouTube thing, but I'm going to say this. I'm cheap. I didn't want to buy another Buzzsprout to put it on. I'm being honest. So I get 12 hours of audio, and I was like, okay, whatever. But last week I told Shane the audio download, and I just saw on Spotify, I just noticed this, Shane. We have over 1,000 fucking people that on Spotify that whatever. Last week I almost had 1,000. Last week we almost had 1,000 downloads. So
wow.
Our podcast. Look, we're not making any money, but we're being entertaining as fuck. So
for the love of the game.
Yes, the love of the game. I don't know these other podcasts in Indiana County. I'm going to research them because I'm after next week or whatever. I think it's a week or 2 weeks of I've been posting on Facebook, blah 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 blah, trying to vote, trying to do whatever, helping other businesses out too, voting for them that actually support the the APWF or the Experience or as friends of the show, but we shall see. So next week will be preempted for the Steelers draft party live at Ben Franklin Tap Room with Steelers Nation Australia. Myself, Shane, and Mark's coming in. You guys can check us out. Come down, hang out with us for 3 days. It's going to be 3 days of craziness. But when we come back in 2 weeks, I am doing something totally different. No movies, no TVs. This is going to be a hard one. I am going to do, in your opinions, your top 10 music albums of all time. That's why it's 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, I'm going to need that.
You could do it. Okay, you could do it in any genre. It could be any genre. Pop, country, classical, fucking bluegrass. I don't give a fuck. Rock, speed metal, fucking acapella, ballerina. I don't give a shit. Movie soundtrack, whatever. Top 10 albums of all time. We all love music, so this is a little
That
different.
makes
This
you
is
think.
a little different. And we always talked about doing something like that. And I just thought of that because it's my shot, and that's why I just threw it out there. So, and I think a
Oh,
lot
but
more
you
people
just
might.
up the ante, man. Like I thought this countdown was hard. My music tastes change on a dime.
Oh,
Every day, I'm listening to a different genre or a different era in the trap. Oh my god!
Sorry. Hey, you can get
Hey,
your top 10 by next week and then change it 2 weeks from now.
yeah, at least there's 2 weeks for this.
Yeah. And Cable, if you ain't doing nothing, you're always invited to come down to Ben Franklin Tap Room. Hang out with us Saturday if you're not doing nothing.
Okay.
You're
Thanks
more
for the
than
invite.
welcome. You're always invited, brother. But guys, it was a good show, man. Good show. But we will be preempted for 2 weeks for the NFL Steeler draft because it is going to be chaotic starting Monday. Because also I have another interview with Dan Polinsky, the owner of Pro of Wrestling, because they're having a big, huge Bruno Forever 2 come Saturday night, and they're bringing Missy Hyatt, Ken Patera, and Corey Graves is going to be in town, and they're going to have some exciting matches. I'm going to do an interview Monday at 5:00 live with him because he is the father of Corey Graves and Sammy Adonis. So, and he's the owner of he's the promoter and owner of the company. And I'm going to bring him on. We're going to talk about that wrestling. And they have Bill Apner with a Q&A from Pro Wrestling Illustrated to come and talk. Johnny Ross, WWE Hall of Famer, is going to be there too. And they're going to talk about Bruno Sammartino. So it's the second year. I can't make it because we're doing this draft. I'll try. I can't clone myself because the world would be crazy. But I got Monday, and then we got Monday night at 10:00. So I'm podcasting all next week, and me and Shane are going to be like on No Dose and C4. So, but Cable, thank you as always. Shane, thank you. God bless you. And you guys have a great weekend. It's WrestleMania weekend. I might do something, but WWE has fucked me off, so I haven't picked anything. I ain't done wrestling in a while with the bigger products. But if I do something, it's going to be late at night at a short notice. And we'll see if I just give my picks personally, and I'm trying to get my other half to come on, but I don't know if she will because we haven't watched wrestling together since the Nixon administration. So, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks you guys in chat for playing with us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Hit like and subscribe. Vote for us on Indiana County right here. The Best of Indiana County podcast, the Triple B Experience is in there. We got about 5 other podcasts. I don't give a flying fuck because I never heard of half of them. We're going against our buddies, the Steelers Realm guys. But hey, sorry guys, shit out of luck. Business is business. Going to the top, baby. We're tired of being the Intercontinental Champion. We want the gold. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on the Triple B Experience. Hit like and subscribe. Peace out.